well, here you go. This is how you get married. This is how you raise children. Every one of us wake up every morning trying to do our best and set an example for our children, for our family, for our communities, and perhaps for our countries and the whole world, hopefully, being examples of this. So I have a special guest right now joining us from India. I believe there is midnight. Priyanka Yogini, she's a activist in this world of men, and she had a initiative called My Father, My Hero. So welcome, Priyanka. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your initiative that you've started in India.
Thank you. Thank you, Arif, for inviting me and having me over. And I'm from Canada, and currently I'm visiting India as my father passed away in February. So I came here for my father's funeral. And my initiative for my father and every father in the whole world is we are gathering and creating events, different events like talent shows, yoga classes, yoga shows, and book reading and other events. So in future we'll be having more events. The only intention of having these events is remembering our father, giving them respect they deserve, and spending some time, quality time with them. Because I remember, like, I now since he is not here, I have his memories with me. The way he nurtured us, especially me. I think daughters are so close to their fathers, and I was so close to my father. So that's what I am doing for the whole world. It started from Canada, and it's spreading in the whole world, I would say. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for sharing that. We also have our special guest from Canada, also, Dr. Florin. Marksteiner, if I pronounce it the Marksteiner, yes, if I can pronounce it properly. Welcome, sir. Also in Toronto, Canada, I have Sheffanessa Brown. She's in Brampton, Ontario, joining us. We also have Annie. Annie is also um, uh, joining us from Toronto, Canada. We have Priyanka from India, and we have also our friend, Mr. Anirban Sinha, he is also in India. So welcome to this Sunday special Fatherhood Summit. Looks like we have now an even team of men and women to talk about this. So welcome to the program, everybody. Let's start with Chef Vanessa. We're gonna have a discussion opened up. So we're gonna go around the room. Just tell us a little about yourself and what you're doing and where you're from and what brings you to this special Fatherhood Summit, please.
Hi, everyone. I am Sheffanessa Brown. I am the founder of Against Parental Alienation Canada. It's a nonprofit organization that focuses on educating the general public about the impacts of that parental alienation has on children and parents. Um, Today is Father's Day, and I had to wake up to do this get together on video and discuss about good fathers and what we can do to help fathers across the world, not just in Canada, but across the world, because as a nation, we children need fathers, right? And I just want to say a definition of that I have for father. A father's role is to provide loving, caring support that helps the child flourish as they grow into a mentally stable adulthood. But we need to understand that parental alienation stops that. And a lot of people do not understand what parental alienation is. So I don't know how long we have,
Let
because
me ask you this just briefly in one sentence. Tell us, like somebody who, like me, is a second language or speaks another language, what's a parental alienation? What do you mean by that?
so parental alienation is when one parent uses the child as a weapon to hurt the other parent.
Understood.
And yes, it's very abusive towards the child. The child is being abused mentally, and the child, like most children, they don't understand what they're going through, which is why I say education is very important. And I do believe that parental alienation needs to be a part of the school's curriculum,
Well,
because Absolutely.
Thank
So
you very much. We're going to talk about it again. I just wanted to quickly go. Dr. Florin, if I'm not mistaken, please unmute, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about where you're joining us, and what's your passion, sir?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to the show. I'll just tell you, I'm not a doctor because I don't want anybody to think I would love to say I'm a doctor in what I know, uh, like
Absolutely.
everybody else. But I'm a filmmaker, I'm an actor, and I'm an author. I join you straight from Romania. Right now it's evening here. I drove about 7 hours, and that's why I was late. I apologize for that, but I hope that everything I know I can share, and you're gonna love it. I join now, yes, as a film director and a producer, but if you want to, I can join exactly as an alienated father. So
Welcome, sir.
you can shoot the questions if you want.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. Yes, we will go through that. I'm glad you're here, and welcome all the way from Romania. Now let's go on to Annie. Annie Gasca. She is sitting down, I think, right now with her father. So an example of friendship between father and daughter. I am blessed to have a 17-year-old, perhaps just around the same age as Annie. Annie, tell us a little bit about yourself, your relationship with your father, what excites you about the Fatherhood Summit.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm Annie. I'm from Colombia, but I'm living in Canada, especially London, Ontario. I won my title as Miss London, so that's why I opened the meeting, because my project is actually focused on mental health, because I truly believe it's a really important part of our life. And then my relationship with my dad is actually pretty good. I have the blessing of having him my whole life, and he has been a role model for me. I am the oldest one, so I truly believe that the oldest one have a really connection, like a really big connection with his dad. So yeah, like he's everything for me. He made me laugh since I was little. He taught me a lot of things that I didn't know. So I think between my mom and my dad, they made me the person that I am right now. So yeah.
Very well. Glad you're here. It's the wish of every parent, speaking as a parent, for have to bring up confident children who know exactly what they want out of life and hopefully start their journey early. This is really my passion. Now we'll go back to India. Yes, Anirban, Sinha, please tell us a little bit about yourself, sir, where you're joining us and the initiative you are a part in India. Thank you, Annie. We'll be right back with you. Thanks. Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
A very good evening and a morning to everyone. Thank you so much, Arif, for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm Anirban Sinha, and I'm from the city of Joy, Kolkata, in India. And basically, this is a wonderful topic to talk about, and that too on a day like Father's Day. However, personally, I believe there is no such particular day as a Father's Day or a Mother's Day, because each and every day is very important for a child from from his mother or her mother, and a father as well. So both of them make and build up a family. And as Sheffanessa talked about, like, alienated parents and parental alienation, yesterday itself we had a particular summit that we had organized physically, speaking about parental alienation and shared parenting. So we had different organizations who are working for men's right in West Bengal, and we clubbed them together and we had this summit. So we had a very fruitful conversation, and we had the child commission as well involved. So it was more easier for us to, speak up. The fathers, they spoke about their issues, and it was really a great evening that we had. And this is basically a big issue that is there. And there are many issues that we can think of, but nothing has been highlighted so far. But I really appreciate Johnny, because Johnny, I believe, paved the first footstep for boys and the men to speak up, for the fathers to be spoken about, and we term our fathers to be the unsung hero. So as of now, this is what I'll speak. Once I get some other time to speak, I'll definitely come back with
So
some more
let me just
details.
ask you something, right, since we're on the topic. Um, how was your relationship with your father growing up? Tell us a little bit about your childhood, because everything starts from childhood. We all know that, except the parental alienation, perhaps when we're in a relationship, maybe. But go ahead, tell us a little bit about your childhood. You have a father figure. Your father figure, a strong person in your
Yes, so
family.
my father is still there, and he's just sitting
Bless you.
opposite to the table I'm speaking. So he's also listening to what I'm saying.
Say hello.
And
Yes.
it has been, see, I have been a guy who has been always into mischiefs and a naughty guy. I was not a someone who was quiet and stuff. So I used to get, the scoldings and stuff from my dad and my mom as well. But when it comes to the life that I'm leading today and what I am today, it's just because of the dedication, the devotion, and the sacrifice that both of my parents did in their way. And for
Yes.
my father, since we are talking about the father, he has been a person who has shown me exactly how you can go ahead and work for social causes, how you can work, how you can earn, and still also go ahead and start helping others. So he
Very
has
well.
been in the social work for long. So he's the one who has paved the way for me, who made me understand what is social service. And I understand now that yes, the scoldings that I used to get in my childhood were actually meant for the day to day I am at. And
Very well.
so
Thank you very much for sharing all of those experiences. Yes.
thank you
When
so much. Thank you.
the goal of us as parents is to raise children who will be proud of us. That's my personal goal. I wanted my daughter, my son to be proud of who I am as a parent. So hopefully that'll be the case with everyone. Let's go back to Florin right now in Romania. You also talked about the parental alienation, sir. Tell us a little bit about your um, I don't
My
know which angle.
experience.
Yes, experience. I don't know to go from the alienation or childhood, but let's go ahead with
Okay.
your initiative.
Here's the irony. I wrote a book about how to be a good father. Irony. Why? Because I had an epiphany and I just realized that you can be the best father you can, or you can become the best father you can by mirroring God. So I took my relationship with God and I made a parallel with my relationship with my daughters, and I realized that I do a lot of things that God does. So in a way, I kind of understood some things, and in the meantime, it hit me a divorce that came out of the blue, at least from my side, and I was that word,
Alienated.
alienated,
Yeah,
from alien, right?
sure.
And to the point that whenever she would say, by the way, when the divorce came, me, because I'm a cerebral guy, I decided and I proposed to her to keep the girls, two girls, right? Because I don't want to play ping pong with the kids. I don't think it's right for them or for the parents or for anybody else. So I decided they stay with you. I just leave the home. I leave the home with you. I leave everything. So it just feels like daddy went to work and that's it. Okay. At that time they were 5 and 3,
Mm.
and because of that, it was tough for me, but it was the good thing to do. Okay,
Right.
for
Yeah.
me, it was a big battle in between my mind and my heart. But I'm sorry to tell anyone, if you don't know by now, the mind will always win. Doesn't
Mhm,
matter how strong of a heart you have.
mhm.
So that was a good move. Of course, the girls don't know the full story. They know only one side. I never ever even tried to tell them the story. Why? For their own peace. Because if I tell them the story, they'll understand that not that I wasn't the bad guy or I didn't do anything wrong or something. It's just they're gonna understand that their mom didn't do the right thing, and
Mm.
because of that, they're gonna hate her and they're gonna live in the house with hate. And I don't want that. I love them too much. Okay, and it's not right. So that's why I know a lot of alienation, when it happens with a lot of hate. Okay,
Mhm.
because we're humans, we have egos, right?
Mhm.
As soon as we understand that we have to step on those egos and be cerebral, understand what is good uh, for us first of all, and after for everybody else. Just like in the plane, when they tell you in case of an emergency, you put your mask first, right? Then so this is my experience about
Wow.
alienation. And trust me, I think Stephanus is going to tell you a lot more. I think I
Definitely.
lived all the stages of it,
Ah,
from the point where you say, oh, you meet to discuss some things to be better for everybody, and the moment you meet, it's a big fight and you're the bad guy. To the moment where oh my gosh, you didn't do something that she wanted, then you're not allowed to see the girls anymore, you know. And that repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, until one point when you think, you know what, I don't think I want to see them anymore. And then of course that's reverse psychology,
another.
and it's ugly. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, I'll tell you
Thanks for
more.
sharing. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, this is important. Is there any movies about these issues of parenthood? I mean, I think it's going to be a good topic for a movie, like a director. Like,
Oh yeah,
there's
like
perhaps some projects that are really can make an
you
impact.
know,
So I'm looking forward to connecting with you off of this
sure.
interview. But great input. Thank you very much. Um, Now let's go to Annie. Annie, if you don't mind, you had your only single parent family. Was it a single parent? Your father was alone when he's raising you?
No, I had both my mom and my dad. I one point they got divorced for I think 1 year or something like that. I think I was 9. So
None.
I kind of like leave that situation.
Uh-huh.
But after that, they worked things out, and they have been still together since then. Uh,
Oh, okay, wonderful. So that's good news. Exactly like Florin was saying again, his didn't end up like yours, but they were able to work it out through communication. Perhaps you were this focus of all of these communication. Was it the children who brought them back together? Am I
um,
right to
Probably,
assume?
probably yes, because I remember when that did happen. I was so little, so I didn't understand the whole thing. But I understand that my dad was leaving. So I remember I went. We got home, and then I started just like screaming and crying, and I like scream at them saying like, "You promised me that this never gonna happen, and then you are breaking that promise." Just like trying to make them be together just because they promised me that.
Mhm.
um and then they were just trying to explain, and then I remember I was like crying with my mom. Whenever I was with my dad, I was crying with him, so I was like telling both of them that I was really sad and I want them back together. And then I think maybe that was something that
Helped
made them
out the
think, yes,
situation,
yes,
right?
yes.
Wonderful. Yes, children play an important role in the lives of their parents. If you really care, I mean, we all have children, and suddenly they appear. There's no instruction. What do I do with this thing? I mean, if you are, this is some of the stuff that I have learned. The animals have a very fast way of getting used to their environment. For example, a beast is born, in the jungle in Africa. Within 1 hour, it has to run. It has to get a bar for human beings. It takes 18 years. Right now, my daughter's going to university, and I'm still not sure if she can handle all the lions out there. So, parenting is challenging. Okay, Sheffanessa, you're in Brampton. Tell us a little about your experience. You are dealing with some of these issues of alienation again. I This is a true story. Again, I come from, my kids are of a mix. My ex wife was from Guyana, South America, and the kids. One day, my son is so attached to me. He's 2 years old in the park. He doesn't want to let go, and she's forcing, and I'm just being okay. Please relax. Okay, he's gonna come. Give us a minute. Blah blah blah. And she just started to heating up the discussion so much. Somebody, a neighbor, started calling the police. So the next thing I know, the police is calling me and saying, what? My son is hang on to my chest. You want me to throw him away and say this is parenthood? I said, who do I talk to? He says, just be relaxed. So tell me if you're dealing with some of these issues. I mean, I'm in control of my faculties. I know what I can and what I cannot do, and what's legal and what's not legal in Canada. But it was a very tough week for me. I talked to the police. I said, "This is the scenario." He says, "Just be a nice guy. That's all. Just let it go." So I let go. Is there issues like this coming up to you, Sheffanessa, that in your?
No, so my issue is my son is kidnapped in India. I haven't seen or heard from my son in 5 years. I
Your son, I'm sorry to hear.
Yes, so my son has been kidnapped for 5 years, and I understand the pain that parental alienation brings. The first thing that they normally see the abuser would say is, if you leave me, you will never see your child again. Or if I can't have them, you can never have them. It's just about spite, ego, and most alienators are narcissistic. So I want to bring education to the general public. So I have to define what an alienator is and what a targeted parent is. And I want to go back and define what parental alienation is too. So parental alienation is a deliberate and sustained effort to damage and diminish a child's loving feelings towards a parent. And it is a
Wow.
severe form of child abuse. Now, when it comes down to parental alienation, there are two types of parents. One is called a targeted parent, and the other can be described as an alienator. Now, a targeted parent is a loving, fit, safe parent who's doing everything in their power to be in the child's life. They pay child support. They want to be there for the child's game. They want to be there always for the child, but are being erased by their ex out of spite. So here's this loving parent who's dying to be in their child's life, but is completely erased. Not just the parent, but also that parent's family also. Because my parents have not spoken to my son in 5 years too. Nobody. So
Wow.
it's cut off of one parent completely. So the child is actually cut in half. It really affects the child mentally. The second parent is called an alienator. An alienator is an abusive parent who uses a child as a weapon to hurt the other parents. So now you have a definition. And this is why I say rights movements and women's rights movements need to join team, right? Because there's a name for it. There's a targeted parent and there's an alienator, right? So we have to understand the definition first. Okay?
Thank you.
And then the process of parental alienation, what happens with alienation, the first thing that they're going to do, they're going to limit contact, and then they're going to keep the child away from the targeted parents. They're not going to inform the targeted parent of important things like medical reports and school events. So the targeted parent is not going to know anything, right? The targeted parent is going to be falsely accused. That's why you see many fathers are accused of molesting their children. And none of this is true, but this is done for the other parents, for the alienator to get custody. So you have no understanding of what the targeted parent is going through.
No,
Many
let me ask.
targeted parents are actually homeless and broke because they have to pay child support. And by the time they finish pay child support, they have no money to pay mortgage. They are mentally drained. They're being abused by their ex. They're also being abused by their child because the alienator teaches the child to abuse the targeted parents. It's a very thing. So yeah, it's a very big topic. So yeah.
Very complicated issues, Sheffanessa. Thank you for bringing awareness. I am aware of some of these issues. Hopefully, through discussions just like this, we can bring out more. But maybe let's go on the other brighter side of the world.
Yes, of celebrating fathers. So
Yeah.
my father taught me how to be a public speaker from I was 4 years old. He always told me you need to go in front of church and speak to the audience. And in the church, maybe like 250 people are there. And
there you go.
As a child, I'm thinking, how am I going to do that? I'm only 4 years old. Well, my dad says you can do it. You know what I mean? And he taught me how to go and actually fight for rights. My father has always been there to fight for people's right from I was a child. So I learned that from my dad, how to be there for others, to be there to support people. Because what I do is I take calls from parents around the world, and I help them mentally and help them push them to stay alive for their children. So my father taught me kindness, love, and all that. So I look up to my dad.
Beautiful. Well, that's why we are here for all the fathers. And I think right now, I think if Priyanka is suitable, I wanted to ask her because she's an immigrant in Canada. We're visiting her family. If you can join us right now, and I know it's getting late there, but some better memories perhaps of your childhood. Um, Priyanka, tell us about My Dad, My Hero. What did you come up with that, and what's the idea behind it? You must have had some great childhood memories. Is there something that sticks out about relationship with you and your father?
Absolutely. So my father passed away in February, and as soon as like, yeah,
Setting, just the orientation. No, now it's better. Good job.
better. Okay, fine. So let me put it. Okay. So my father passed away in February, and as soon as like he wasn't there, and his like I just press into his memories and the way he brought us up. He would take me to the barber shop, and he would stand outside because my hair was shorter than this, and he would take me to females spa and salon, and he would stand for me outside, would wait for me. And if any dress wouldn't fit in my mom's budget, he would straight away would take me to the shop and would buy me the thing. And 8 years back, I decided to come to Canada as a single parent, and he trusted me. It was like, yeah, you go. And I was doing a TV show in India, making quite good money. But then as a single parent, I wanted to give my kids little change. And, I wanted to give them space and then all the love, and, seeing that that's the good decision for them. So my father really supported me. So in his entire life, he was a big support. He
Is
gave
there
all of us. Yeah.
is there a book or movie that stand out that you can share that other people could share like a memory? I have one book myself that sticks out in my mind. There's a book called The Giving Tree, and I'm not sure who the author. I can't remember right now, but it's for a children's book. It's very expensive, but it's worth every penny. It's just story of a tree, how it grows with a man, and then the man gets old, the tree gets chopped down, and then the sun comes. Just beautiful narrative. Is there a book that stands out in your mind about this relationship? Some
Uh, Not
or
any that
movie?
I can now. Like there are a couple of movies about fatherhood and then how nurturing they are, but as of now, I couldn't think of any name to share with
Yeah.
you.
Well, you're experiencing it, so you're living the movie of your parenthood. Hopefully, you had some experiences to take with you for your journey. Thank you very much. Again, let's go to who is here. We're gonna go back to Sheffanessa. You had a lot of things to say about this parental alienation. This is a true story. Just 3 months back, I was in Iran, and I go to a family, visit with a cousin of mine who, as childs we grew up together, and then he has amnesia or dementia. He doesn't recognize people. And his wife, as soon as she saw me, and we haven't seen each other for a few years, she started to cry like crazy. And I said, what has happened? I know the pain and all of that. She says, I'm crying because my son, big apple orchards, maybe hundreds of trees. He says he doesn't even give us one box of apple for the whole winter to eat. He's mistreating, disrespecting. He thinks his father is a disgrace because he has this illness. Then again, I had to take the son, and another one-on-one discussion. We go out, we sit down, we have a coffee, and I explain to them what's important. What are you doing here? Is there issues like this that come up in your discussions in here in Toronto, in Canada? I mean, we all know that there are issues, and there are men who committed suicide, I know, in this city, just because of the pressure that they're facing.
Yes. um it's a very sad situation. That's why I'm pushing for parental alienation to become a punishable crime. Why? It's an intent to harm the other parent. And in that intent of harming the other parent, the child end up being harmed the most, right? It's now think about this. A parent going as far as lying, falsely accusing a parent of molesting their child to win custody. That's one of the worst things you could ever do to someone. And this is a true story. A father was being accused for 3 years. He lost his teaching job. He had to leave where he lived. Can you imagine? He has to relocate because of the situation. Everybody was looking down on him, and he fought. He fought back, and he said, "I'm a loving father. I love my son." And he fought really hard in court, and in the end, he won. But sadly, after he won, and this is a false allegation, just like Johnny Depp, and I'm proud of Johnny Depp for fighting and speaking out for for his rights. But this father went and he fought in court, and he won custody. But after winning custody, the mother went home and murdered her son. He was only 6 years old when he was shot to death. So imagine a father going through this, a loving father who's trying to be in his child's life and end up losing his son to death. And this is how terrible parental alienation is. Court needs to do better. I believe fit, safe, loving parents, they deserve equal parenting rights. Once you're loving and fit, why can't you have equal parenting rights? I don't feel that it should always go 100% to the mother. I strongly disagree. I'm a woman that fights for equal parenting rights. And I get a lot of bashing from many women who are saying, why are you fighting for this? But I strongly believe once you're fit, loving and safe, you deserve your children equally. And that's what
Wonderful.
I fight for.
Thank you. And now equal parenting. We have Anirban, and he's perhaps sitting down right now with his father. These are also complicated cultural issues. I think in some cultures these are not issues, because as a father, as a figurehead for the family, has the responsibility to bring in money, and the mother is mostly housewife, just like my mother was. This is my experience. And now the life is more complicated. Both people have to work, both people have to make money, so it causes another uh, complication to life. Is that the case in India? Something, is there both parents, most families both parents are working, or is it more traditional? Anirban, are you with us?
Yeah, Arif, basically, yeah. Uh, First of all, I'll just go off the topic. Sheffanessa Brown, if the others know, she is very active on Twitter. And we personally follow her on Twitter as well, because she has wonderful posts which are irrespective of any gender, but it's basically for the children. So she is really, if you all can follow her, it would be really nice for all of us.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Welcome.
Absolutely.
And Arif, yeah, like if we look at what India was 20 years back and what India is today, there is a big difference. And most of the families that we have here are basically the father and the mother are both working. So the tradition that we had earlier, like the mom would be the homemaker, it still persists. However, the percentage has gone down a lot. So in most of the families, we have the parents who are working, and I believe that is one big cause which brings in parental alienation as well. Because initially what used to happen is the dads used to go on for work, and whatever pressures or whatever tensions, depressions the dad had, they used to keep it to themselves. So the family never used to come to know about it. But once the mom started working, you know, it happens that mom comes back and she's not doing good with her thought process. She might be really depressed about something that happened back at office. So when she returns home and, she finds something which is to do with the child, which is not going good, what she tries is she thinks the dad pampers the child a lot. So what she tries to do is she tries to go ahead and have some wrong words being used against the father for the children. These are things that going on in India. Basically, we have seen a huge rise in terms of false cases being done, and it is on a huge rise. So every
Absolutely.
9 seconds, we have three male suicides that happen. Okay,
Thank you.
so that's a tough call. In as Sheffanessa said that people shooting their 6 years or 7 years child. We basically don't support this, but we need to understand that if a father or a mother is trying to go ahead and kill his or her child, it might be because of more of a rivalry kind of thing, which doesn't help them. They just think that if I don't get the son or the daughter, I would just not let him or her have the other parent
Peace.
as well, the love. So they
That's
try in between. Who suffers? It's the children. If we look at the data globally, the drug addiction rates have gone on a high end rise just because we have such issues that are happening. And as rightly I heard, uh, you know, Florin, as he was saying, hats off to him. We also do want and preach. This is what, like, if you are not willing to stay together, just get separated, but don't deny or don't deprive the child of the love of the father and the mother as well, because
absolutely.
both of them is important.
Thank
And
you.
that creates a negative impact on the child. If we both are separated, but still we have time for the children as a father, as a mother, that helps the children to build up and nurture in the future. So
Amazing.
a big issue. It's a lot of things are there to discuss and talk. We probably would have such sessions in the near future as well.
Hopefully.
So thank you.
We welcome and thank you for your participation. And I'd like to go back and talk to Florin quickly about all of these things. Again, I just have a few announcements to make. We are here on a non-profitable social cause, and my colleagues and I put a lot of time into bringing people together to hopefully bring awareness to a lot of issues about men's issues, women's issues, and all of these. So we have a few sessions that I wanted to bring to your attention. If you are new, first time you're watching, there's a open up. This is a personal journey of those who want to share about their personal journeys on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We also have the Vili, this is the Tamil live show with our friend Sivam there, and also monthly webinars every Saturday of the month at 10 a.m. We get together, we talk about some issues that make an impact in our daily lives. We also have monthly special shows, which is called Unspoken Tears. This is every second Saturday of the month, again at 10 o'clock. Most of the programs are at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Standard Toronto. So please go ahead and check out our website, Voice of Men 360, all the social media, and share this videos if you see that there's an impact. Now, Florin, welcome back, and I'm again here present with you. You experienced this. Um, I mean, in Romania, it must be a little bit different setting, but this parental alienation, would you say it was a battle, like trying to win over who's going to take custody, or using the kids as a wedge, or what was the main challenge here?
Here's the trick. I'm in Romania because I brought my mom's ashes, and I'm supposed to be here only 2 weeks. And in August, I'll be here for 2 years already because of COVID. But I live in London, in Canada. Uh, so we're neighbors almost. First of all, I wanted to say this. Yes, I've been married with a Canadian girl. Everything was awesome until one day. Don't ask me because I don't. I mean, okay, we know couples have issues, okay, but issues that can be solved, issues that cannot be solved because of egos, but they can move on, and they can move on together. Annie, my head down to your parents, because they decided to try and get over their egos and stay together. I do hope from the bottom of my heart that you are the reason. And if you weren't the reason, you're the one that won. Okay. So, but in my case, um, okay, I can say I've been blessed because before everything happened, I had a radio station in Chatham, Kent, and it was an online radio station, and we did a show called Lifeline, um, live stream, in fact, and it was like a lifeline for the people that had problems with grief, and I was doing it with a pastor, and 52 episodes that the show was. I understood grief and the five stages of grief. So for me, in the moment when I had the line from my ex saying, I don't want you in my home, I don't want you, no, I don't want to be with you anymore, and I want you out of the house. I went through those five stages of grief in 1 second. And I was like, are you sure? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Why are you asking me? Because I don't want you to have regrets. Are you sure? Yes. Have a nice day. And in my head, everything went through exactly what I planned. I know it's weird, but I was lucky with that because other people, and I have cases with friends that tell me that they know people that went crazy in Romania, talking about Romania now. I see more and more in the news people using the kids as a revenge. We want a case just 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Woman, I won't say a girl, okay, with her two little ones, 6 years old and 3 year old, went up on the 10th floor and jumped with them by hand. Poor kids, they didn't even know what happened. You know what I mean? But imagine they felt the fear and the scaredness of the moment and everything. So no, you don't drag the kids in this. You don't use the kids. Even in my case, she tried a lot of times to use the kids. It's stupid. I don't know if can I say Steph if you don't mind?
Sheffanessa,
Sheffanessa,
yeah.
Sheffanessa. I got it.
Sheffinessa. It was
Okay.
my sister's
It's,
called
it's
Nessa. So
actually
Chef, yeah,
Sheffanessa.
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 Sheffanessa. Gotcha.
Ah, there you go. One name in
So
one.
so the hardest part of a alienated parent, you know what it is? To hide your feelings. Is when you have to be strong for your kids to not see your suffering. To have the joy that you plant some seeds in them that even in 20 years they're gonna still love you even if you're not around. I know those moments are gonna come. As I said, I don't want them to know the real story because I don't want them to live with hate in the house. That would be the
No.
last thing I want them to happen to. I have a friend that in Toronto, he has his ex that keeps his two first kids hostage almost.
Mm. No, I believe.
Okay, with the courts and everything, he keeps posting on Facebook, oh, this them and that them and blah 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 blah, and I keep telling him, stop doing this because nobody cares. Okay,
Nobody
take
does.
care of yourself. Be prepared for the moment when you get reunited with the kids, because unfortunately, and I'm sorry, if you're a parent that does that, remember this. Unfortunately, the kids know and the kids feel. Okay, there's going to come a time when the kids, they have their free will, and God forbid they're going to say, mom, dad, I don't want to be with you, period. That's going to hurt the parent that tried to keep so much the kid just for themselves. It's sad, but it's true. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I do life coaching because of this.
That
Okay,
was
I don't want, believe it or not, the divorce went after um, a couple counseling by a priest, bad one. So I decided I'm going to do life coaching for couples to be sure they don't end up like me.
very well. Well, I'm glad
But
you're
hey,
here.
I'm still smiling, and I
We're gonna
have two
use your
beautiful girls.
experience. We're gonna ask some more questions and use your experience. Thank you very much. I think Priyanka is gonna be leaving us shortly because in India it's probably midnight. I'd like to bring you back, Priyanka. If you are there enjoying your family, I know you lost your father and I lost my father. He was 84 years old and just this February 10th passed away in my arms so peacefully. The day that he passed away, he asked me to shave him. I took him to shower, shave, clean, come back, had a tea, and I went outside, come back, and he was passed away. It was just a moment changing moment. It was a shifting moment in my life that nobody really, no matter how much you try to get things or fight for things, and when your moment comes, there's nothing you can take with you. It's you and your soul and your God and your conscience that goes with you, and all of the impact that you make with your community. So tell us a little bit about your experience, and last words, that if you like to go, it's midnight, you are with your family, so don't want to take too much of your time. Please share some experiences with us.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I want to, like, I'm feeling so connected with everybody sharing and their experiences and the big contribution you all are. So I'm really honored to be with all of you.
Pleasure.
And yeah, so, and like my father's, as you're saying, like we can only take our soul and nothing else, like everything will remain here. And every day we remember our father and his good things because he was a man. Like, you know, when I'm saying it, I have huge respect, love, and like I'm having goosebumps while just thinking about him. So he was a great contribution. He would love to connect with people, would, you know, love to eat with them. Like connection was the one thing. And we were wondering, like, you know, in his last days, he was 68 when he passed away. He would, you know, he was not a person who would stay calm or like, you know, stay, he was not well, but in spite that he would pop the pills and he would go out and meet people and would eat with them. You know, connection was the one thing, and community was another thing he was in love with. So, and like
Thank
I'm saying these things, like I have so much, and I understand the egos and issues and other things are happening, but like I'm being present too, that if we'll talk about the good things, we will bring the good things. And the issues are there with the where one parent is not doing the thing, but then for our kids we can bring the harmony, like the legacy my father has in this world in form of like all his good deeds. So that's amazing. That's what we can
God
leave behind.
bless. God bless his soul, and I'm so happy you joined us. Thank you very much, and we're looking forward to having you back in Canada. So enjoy your time in hot India, and be back as soon as possible. Have a great night. Good night. Thank you very much. And then back here with Florin again. I love the minute that you zoomed in the camera and you said that children understand. I like you to do that again, because I have this unwritten rule in my family. Once, you know, after a few years with few arguments and few times, I saw that this is not going to have a good impact on my children if they witnessed it. Back then, it was only my daughter. I made a pact. I said, listen, Elizabeth, her name is Elizabeth. I said, I want you to respect just one thing. Anything that you want from me, please don't argue or fight or say it in a loud voice in front of my children. When I'm alone, you can beat me up, you can do whatever, but don't do it. I know it impacts them. And I thankfully she accepted, and we've had a great relationship, separate relationship, but our children are amazing, and I'm glad I made that move because it does impact them. Does it? Florian,
Oh,
fighting children,
oh
you know,
yeah.
parents, how does it impact the kids?
It impacts. Okay, the kids are our mirror. To be honest, this is what I based my book on. Okay,
Oh,
the kids are our mirror. Okay, whatever we try, yeah, whatever we show them, this is what they're gonna know.
mm,
Okay, it's exactly like in this world. Whatever we see, that's what we believe in. Period. We have to see it, and if we see it, we believe it even more. Okay,
absolutely.
and I know it's true. A lot of people don't care if they swear in front of the kids, and after that they wonder why they swear. The same thing with the smoking and everything else. Look, if you want, I'm glad to say this. Huh. Kids are designed to grow up by themselves, if you believe it or not. That's why we don't get the manual.
That's a
I'm
good way
serious.
of putting it.
You want
Yeah.
my confirmation? Look, I'm asking Annie, if your parents were to be together or not, when you grew up, you would end up to be the same. Why? Because I bet you would take the same decision you wanted to take if your parents would be together or not. Period. That's what I'm trusting in my girls. Okay. What I'm happy is that Me personal, I'm a bubbly guy. That's what I am. I know some people look at Elon Musk when he does this. This is how he is bubbles. That's it. But I instilled that in them. I gave them my good spirit to have them with them all their life, and I know they're gonna have it all their life. One little thing is when they were like 1 year, 2 year old, when we were going to the restaurant, I would just say, go say hello to everybody at the tables, and they would go hello. They would go to everybody. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because as you know, kids when you have small, you try to keep them and protect them, and try most of them try to stay behind mommy and all that. When you ask them what's your age, mommy is answering instead of them. No, I try to make them independent, because
absolutely,
don't get me wrong, we never know how long we are in this world. Okay, if
absolutely.
I'm divorced or dead, for them right now it's the same thing, because I'm not there. It's hard, but it's true. I'm not there, because a lot of times I had the complaining. I don't know how to say it right now. Sorry. I had the complaining from her, because I don't do too much for the kids. And I said, listen, the moment you decided that you don't want to be with me and you don't want me to be in this home, funny thing, home I bought with my mom, no, it doesn't matter. You don't want me to be. I decided, okay, I'll do it for the love of my kids, not for you. And I decided to do that and to give up everything for their own sanity, because otherwise we would get in all this whirlpool, the
Mm,
legal whirlpool and everything, and the ping pong and all the hate that, as we know, nobody wants to admit it, but it's true. It doesn't matter. When the parent is alone with the kid, he has to make himself or herself look better. How do you make yourself look better? By making the other one look worse.
absolutely.
It's true.
I can attest to
It's
that. This
true. To be honest, I never ever ever did that. Never. And I don't want to. And mostly is because I don't want them to think bad about their mom, especially if they live on under the same roof. I promised myself that I'm going to tell them one day when they grow up, when they're going to understand, and they're going to understand that even if they're going to hate their mom, because we're humans, we react, they're going to still have the cerebral capacity to be able to have a discussion, not a fight.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay. But I was saying this. I was saying that if I'm divorced or dead, for them is the same thing.
mm,
Right now is the same thing. And that's why I said, you took my right to be a father. So don't blame me. I'm not a father.
mm,
Okay. I put everything I could in them, like from words to I'll give you my Instagram to see everything you see there. It's all this, not the story, the sayings that my brain conceived for them. And I'm happy to say it's my legacy. One of my sayings is that our legacy is the smile we bring people when they remember us.
very well said. Thank you. Well, we're hopeful. Well, we will remember you with all this wisdom. Now, before I go back to Sheffanessa, let me ask Annie. Annie, you are the youngest member of this group right here. Tell us a little bit about the impact that your father particularly has had in your life, because of fatherhood. I mean, the person you are right now, you won the Miss World London, which is London, Canada, big country right here. We're proud of you. But is there a direct impact or a memory that you can share that your father really built you up confidence?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, of course, my mom and my dad are completely different. So I know my mom gave me a lot of things, but my dad, he always is like that funny person in the group. He's super social. I remember every time that I was with my friends, he was trying to actually make me feel good with them and make them laugh. And I remember my friends saying like, oh my gosh, your dad is amazing, I love the energy that he has. So I always look at him as that kind of like role model for me. I was like, yes, he is actually a really really good guy. But I will say especially regarding to boys, when I start dating, I was like, okay, I was like getting to know a lot of guys and what I like, why not? But I always had my dad in the back of my mind, and I know it's gonna sound weird, but I was like, he's so good with my mom, he's so good with me. He like, I'm his princess, so why I need to accept something less from like a guy? You know
Yeah,
what I
well,
mean? So I always had in the back of my mind, like, I really want someone as my dad who makes me laugh, who makes everything for me. He's the type of dad that he prefers to drive me whenever I go out. He's like, I don't care if you are gonna be like at 3 a.m., but I will go and pick you up because I think that it's better, like, you're gonna be safe with me instead of like maybe going in someone's car that you don't know. Just call me and I will be there for you. So that's kind of like my dad. um so I feel like everything that I like, everything that I related to guys is just like he's my example. And
wonderful.
yeah, I just love him so much.
And that's joy, that's happiness, that's family, looking up to your father, and as a figure that you would judge other men by. That's a good place to be. That means you've had a good standard, and he's taught you some stuff that you're trying to see other men. What's their level compared to my dad? I mean, some other people are not blessed to have this, and I know families who have mixed children from different marriages, and there's a lot of issues out in the world. I'm glad you are with your parents, like Florin said, and we're gonna benefit from their hard work in the things that you're doing, starting with Miss London. Thank you very much. Now, Sheffanessa, let's go back to your social mind and see how we can challenge and change some of these issues with men, and what can we do? What's the initiative? What's the action? What can people do?
The
We're bringing awareness. Tell us what's the
what
next
we
step.
need, the unity. Unity is power. Once parents met, like once men and women come together and join as a team, everything will be okay. Because then you have mothers fighting for fathers, and then you have fathers fighting for mothers. It's a
Well,
beautiful.
Peter gives you a thumbs up. That means it's good. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a
Well, men, women, we're all human beings. We all have feelings.
absolutely,
I mean, and
absolutely.
all we
So
need is a little bit of understanding,
yes, we do.
communication, perhaps, like Florin was saying, like communication is key
It's
between,
key.
and I'm always
We
trying to leave the door open. I mean, do you tell this to your audiences, your clients, your friends? I'm not sure where we
I,
find
I,
you.
I remind every parent that the child come first. So basically, I have a mask that I wear every single day. Even though the mandate, like, we don't have to wear mask anymore, I still wear mask because I'm actually advocating against parental alienation. So on my mask, you have parental alienation is child abuse on one side, and the left side says put children first. And that's the reason that one of the reasons I created a flag. I made a flag called the Parental Alienation Awareness Flag. And it was not easy, but God is great. I believe strongly in the Almighty. He gave me that vision to make a flag to unite parents across the world and fight against parental alienation, because many people don't know what it is. And when I made that flag represents love for us to put to as a team, to work as a team, to be able to put our children first.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I put that out there, the mayor of Brampton, he agreed, and he raised the flag at Brampton City Hall. And Brampton has over 600,000 people. So the flag was raised at City Hall. It was a parental alienation awareness flag that's just flowing in the air, where people can see and look and understand what it is. Because, as I said, education is very important. The mayor of Brampton, he is actually a lawyer, and he's now running for prime minister. And he has become an advocate against parental alienation as well. He has stood on my, he's a volunteer for my organization, and he has made many videos speaking out against parental alienation. And to have a public figure like that who's running for prime minister, fighting against parental alienation is a very big thing. And not only Brampton, but Toronto raised the flag, and Toronto has over 1 million people or more, I think. Mississauga.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we
So
have mayors actually speaking out against parental alienation, that's something that we need to do, because if we don't stop parental alienation, our children are going to continue to suffer. And without consequences, nothing will change. Just like driving, right? Driving under the influence. Before, people could drink and drive, right? Go on the road and kill someone, and nothing happened unless they kill someone, right? But now, to drink and drive, you can be jailed, right? So because of this, even if you were drinking, you're like, oh, let me not go on the road and drink and drive, because I could end up in jail. or I could lose my license. But if you know, if I hurt my ex mentally, financially, and emotionally, and I can get away, I can push my ex to commit suicide and I can get away. You'll continue to do it, right? You're going to continue to abuse your ex and your child. But if laws are put into place where if you lie on falsely accuse your ex, if you abuse your ex, if you keep a child away from your ex, you can be jailed. I promise you, these parents will stop. Alienators will stop. Promise you that.
Well,
So
well,
we need laws in place. And that's my
thank
goal.
you. Thank you very much. Well, we're here to support you, to spread the word, and please feel free to reach out. Again, let's connect everybody to create an environment where we have clear communications between parents, especially like all of you have agreed and also addressed. And then a family starts from there between the two parents, and then our community and our country, and setting an example. Florin, about your book and your stuff, and where do we find Florin, and tell us a little bit about your online presence, or where are you? I know you're in Romania, but I'm sure you're closer to us than you think. I'd like to read your book. Where do I find you, sir?
For sure, the book you can find it on Amazon. It's called Our Father Understanding God. I know it's a bold title. That was a pun, eh? Hey, hey. But it's why? Because I had an editor advising me to not name it like that. But it's in my heart. This is how it came through, and I was like, I don't care. It's my book. I want it that way. So it's very simple. Our Father, two dots, understanding God, right? But as I said, it's not. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not a pastor, preacher, or anything. It's just things that I found out once I became a father, and I was having little episodes, funny episodes with my little girls, that I understood how God does things to us, exactly how we do it to our kids, or even the other way, how we do kids to our, how do we do things to our kids, good
God
things,
loves us.
just like how God does to us. One
Absolutely.
little thing is, for example, how we complain all the time. Okay, so okay, but I was saying, I wanted to say about that parents that do that. Um, when they use the kids as a weapon, you're right. They hurt the kids. They don't understand it now. The problem is that again, we go with the karma. Eventually, they hurt themselves. If we are lucky enough to understand that time heals everything, which is true, nobody believes it until they live it. Exactly how we don't understand songs until we live the situation. Then it goes straight into our heart. Um, until then, you don't understand it, right? So, but it's true. Time heals. Trust me, it heals. And especially, this is what I do when I do speeches with teenagers. Okay, I tell them, listen, our mind, if we want it or not, it's a computer. Which means, when you want to take a decision, it's not, maybe, no. The decision it's a switch, on off, on off. If you decide today to take the decision to be cerebral, to understand that you have to step on your ego and understand you need to communicate with your spouse, and you need to find a solution for the entire family, and to understand that you're living not just for yourself but for your kids too, then you're good. You need to do that switch.
Yes,
If you don't
sir.
understand, try and find some help. Okay, exactly how Sheffanessa was saying the same thing. It's true. It's really good. If you want to find me, and if you want to find what I do, it's simple as productionmark.ca. That's my website, and I do
One
video
more time,
production.
please.
And
You said it
yes,
too quickly. Just
oh, I'm
spell it
sorry,
out for. Yeah, I didn't catch it, so I'm sure.
productionmark.ca.
Ah,
Production Mark. It's one word with K at the end.
productionmark.ca.
Yeah, and that's how you find me on Facebook and everything. But if you want to find my quotes, they are on Instagram. Is just / my name, Florin Marksteiner.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
Thank you.
and
Thank you
all
very
those
much.
came from my heart and my brain for my little ones, which I
I am
love to share with everybody.
I'm 100% sure there's millions of people like me who would like to connect and to understand, again, just to bring some light to our own lives. Every day we wake up and we don't really know the manual on what to do. Just making the right decisions would be a good start. It's just
And
right.
I want to
Uh-huh.
say this.
Sure,
I had
jump in.
one
Anybody else
gentleman.
too? Hmm.
Yes, I had one gentleman that told me at one point in my life, you choose to be happy. And I got so pissed. Oh my God, how can you tell me that? That was the ego. How can you tell me that? It took me 10 years to understand. I was editing a film and I just stood up and I realized, my gosh, this is what he meant. You choose to be happy. And that gentleman was Bob Dickinson, the CEO of Carnival.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Nuggets.
sometimes small people can say big things.
Absolutely. It's the receptor that decides about the message. A
The
message
switch.
could be, yeah, it could be delivered to two people. Both of them have exactly the opposite understanding of the message. So it's our
Yeah.
own readiness, our own ability to comprehend. I'm so glad you were here. And also, Anirban, you're in India. It's getting late. I want to get you in and also tell us a little about the last words or what we can do to connect with you. Where are you and what initiatives are you pursuing right now?
Well, it's not too late, Arif. Like it's
Thanks.
just going to be 9 p.m., so that's
Ah,
pretty okay. And I basically represent an organization. We are called All India Boys and Men's Forum, and it's All India Boys and Men's Forum. And we also have All Bengal Men's Forum. So these are the two organizations that I represent. And we basically are working for the empowerment of the men and the boy child. So that includes everything. Like, what we believe is just fighting for the false cases is not something that we actually look in. We have to work for the betterment and empowerment of the boy child and the men in terms of studies, education, health, everything, sports. And once we educate people, once we have more people coming in and speaking up about the issues, because what we see is like, we teach the girl child about the good touch and the bad touch, but we don't go ahead with a good touch and a bad touch for boys. We don't teach
mm.
them what's a good touch and a bad touch.
Yeah,
It,
absolutely.
that's something that we exactly need to work on. We need to teach them from childhood that what's a good touch and what's a bad touch. We need to make them understand whenever a boy is born and he is brought up in the family, we tend to go ahead and start giving responsibilities from the very first day. Maybe that you have to study this, should have to go ahead and take care of your parents. You need to have a big house. You need to work. You need to earn a lot of money. You need to have a pretty wife. So whether she's going to be pretty or not, that's something that we cannot think of. But these are the things that we generally put in on the
Mm,
boys. So we need to work on, and we need to exactly think about the fathers because they play a very big role in the upbringing of a child. And as I said, I'll just cut short on my speech. I'll just go on with the small data which tells us like according to the research and statistics that has been done in the year 2016 till 2018, the children and teenagers with parental, with rather, I should say, paternal role models, they are better with their higher grades in their points. They, are likely to graduate more from the high school and then to a college degree. They do have more I should say less behavioral problems at school. So bullying, fighting at school is all less if we have the father figure in a family. That's not something that we say, it's the statistics that talk about. So we
absolutely.
need to speak up for the fathers, and we need to make sure that these fathers like Barack Obama, he had a particular liberation being done where he wanted 2 years of degrees for the fathers, a free degree for the fathers. So that's called liberation. Like we want more people, more countries to come up and speak. And people like Sheffanessa, we have again Florin, and such people to come up and speak. And we need more of the opposite sex since we are talking about the father. So I'll just go and talk about the father. We want more of the mothers, more of the feminine gender to come up and speak that yes, because they also have brothers, uncle, and a father, a brother, a friend. So who is again going to be a father in the near future? So they need to speak up. The society speaks. The countries need to speak up, and then only we can build up a really good future for the youth generation. Because our life is almost gone. We are done. So we'll hardly live for more 10, 20 years. But we need to think about the people, those who are going to be in the future.
Thank you.
So we all need to work together as a team. And anyone who wants to connect with us, any issues that you have in India, we have our Facebook page as All Bengal Men's Forum, All India Boys and Men's Forum. Shivam has all the details. You can get in touch with Shivam. We are there on LinkedIn, on Twitter as well as on Instagram. So, and we have a website which is allbengalmensforum.org.
Hmm.
So you all can get connected with us, and we would look forward to work together. We are already working with few international organizations. We have a DEBIA as well, which is working for boy-child labor and suicidal tendency in the boys. So
Wow.
we are working for that as well. So
Thank you.
that's all. It's a pleasure speaking. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much for all you're doing, man. That's a heavy duty, a lot of tasks. And as we go around now, I'm going to switch gears to go to the younger generation. Annie, you are here hearing all of these issues. You haven't even started out your journey yet, but tell us a little bit about hearing these conversations. How does it impact your thinking right now as a young person going out? You're probably going to school, or where you headed next? What's your next step?
Yeah, I'm currently studying psychology and sociology at Western University. However, I feel like this is like these are topics that you don't hear on your daily basis. For me, as because I only know my parents' relationships and whatever, I only hear that kind of things. But for me, I'm like my age and like my friends are not in that, like they don't talk about that either. So I feel actually there is a big gap on information for younger generations, especially on, I will say, mental health, and also single parents. Honestly, I feel like I only heard the woman part. I didn't know all of these problems, honestly. And actually, I'm from Colombia, so I had like that kind of mind. But like seeing all these problems, like hearing Chef Vanessa speaking all of that, and then Florin giving her experience, I'm like, wow, like this is actually something that we need to talk about more. Because
Global.
as yes, and as they say, they also have those rights. um
There's
I can tell that Florin love their kids and everything, but he's doing what he thinks is right. And it's not fair for them either to just like don't have that right, just because we have been built like that and there is not information at all. So I feel like I can use my title, of course, and I can use my like this information and my studies to bring awareness, because I feel it's a really important topic. And as the fortunate person that I am, I had the opportunity to live with my dad as well and my mom. So I feel like for those who didn't have that experience, it's important to know about these topics, and be aware and help those who really need it.
wonderful. Well, thank you for your contribution. If there is anything we can do to help you support your studies, did you say you're going to Western University?
Yes, I am.
My daughter's gonna be studying there, so hopefully to see you in person in fall. And I'm gonna be doing some few back and forth trips, so to
Oh,
connect with you and also get some inspiration. Perhaps you can set an example for other young ladies who follow you. That's our
okay,
job, really, as human beings. Hopefully. So
exactly. Yeah, I
thank you
will.
so much. Now, again, these are so much issues. Thanks, Peter. You're watching from far, but contributing via your signs. We really appreciate you. Going back to Sheffanessa, she's very deeply involved in these issues. As you can see, she's very passionate about it. Also, let's close this session out perhaps very soon, but tell us about the action steps that people need to do to find you. First of all, I see that you're putting a lot of time and you're very passionate. I'm sorry to hear about your boy, and being this as a mother, I can't even imagine. Even as a father, I had a hard time being away from my kids for a year. It was some days I felt like, oh my God, I feel suffocated. I want to hug my son or my daughter.
Absolutely.
I feel that feeling. So tell us a little bit about, how do we find you? How do we help you? What can we do to contribute to your cause?
So help me build awareness. Of the goal is education. If you go and ask anyone, the most educated people, just go there and be like, do you know what is parental alienation? And I guarantee you, they'll
Do
be
not.
like,
I had a hard
that's
time. I
that's
had to ask, actually. I did have to ask twice. Again, it's a very heavy topic. It doesn't come up very often, and we don't talk about these things. So
absolutely. So
enlighten us.
it's because many people are unaware of it, and as I said, education and awareness are powerful tools. They're tools that are put in place for us to get for it to prevent parental alienation, because parental alienation can be prevented. Parental alienation is not something that's supposed to happen. It's God is against it. And this is the I don't know if you heard about this story about this King Solomon. I don't know if you ever heard of King Solomon.
Yeah.
But King Solomon was a king back in Bible days. He was such a smart judge. And many judges that are in family court, they're so I would not use the word stupid. I don't want to use it, but I wish they could be like King Solomon. So basically, King Solomon, there are two women that came to court, claiming that the child belongs to both of them. And King Solomon said, one mother was saying, it's my child, and the other mother said, no, it's my child. So King Solomon said, guard, bring me the sword, chop this in half. And both mothers were standing there that were claiming that the child belonged to them. And one mother jumped in front of the sword, and she said, no, please, do not chop the child. Give her the child. So a loving parent would never allow their child to be cut in half, right? The other mother was saying, cut it, kill it, cut the child. King Solomon looked at both women and he said, you are the right mother. So he gave the baby to the current mother. The mother or a father who loves their child would never want to see them in pain, never want to cut them in half, would never commit parental alienation. So our thing is to bring awareness where we educate parents and we bring for love, because love is always the answer. Once you love someone, you can never hurt them, right? So once we bring love to both parents and educate them and help them say, you know what, if you put your child first, we can prevent parental alienation. It's very preventable. So parents just have to put their children first. Love your child, and then we can eliminate parental alienation. Just love your child. It's not hard, but it's all about hurting your ex. If you continue to think of hurting your ex, you're going to continue to hurt your child. And I want to touch on the impacts that parental alienation has on children. I really want to bring awareness, because I know this is a public platform. I know this is going worldwide, so I really want to get it out there. So the first thing that it affects is a child's mental health. So alienated children always suffer from depression, sometimes drug or alcohol abuse, low self-esteem, self-hatred, and the worst thing of all, suicidal tendencies. There are many children who have committed suicide due to parental alienation. And there's many parents who have committed suicide due to parental alienation. I almost committed suicide too in 2017 due to the pain. It was very unbearable. And support and love and God helped me. So if I can survive, the moment I survived in 2017, I said, whoa, this pain is very terrible. How can I reach out to parents and tell them to stay alive for their children? Because I was saved. Somebody saved me, encouraged me and said, Sheffanessa, live for your child. Your child will never forgive you if you kill yourself. Think about it. Your child will never forgive you if you kill yourself. And this is the truth. I've spoken to many children whose parents have committed suicide and they have never forgiven their parents. They felt that they should have looked at them and thought of them as being enough. So I'm encouraging every parent around the world, live for your children. Do not die for them. They need you.
Thank you.
We need you.
Thank you very much. Again, it really comes down to basics. I think when it comes even to relationships, to going back to being kind, loving, respectful. I mean, they say respect is earned. I can't ask anybody to respect me. I have
Yeah.
to show it. And how do I show it? Is I take the first step. I take the first step to say, listen, partner, whoever it is in my life, let's have a different conversation. As of today, actually, this is a really good day, Fatherhood Day. Let's be kinder to each other. Let's work through issues instead of attacking each other. Not put the stick in the wheel, but let's make it go a little bit smoother. What can I do to help you? This is my approach. And I know many a times comes to financial. It comes to money. Money again. They say it's the root of all evil. They say that, but the lack of money is the lack of all evil. I was in financial services. The first thing I do with my children, my daughter right now, I have a budget for her. She's going to go to university. I said, you are in charge of this money. This is right now your best buddy. You control this, and it will never control you. I give you a nest egg. I give you a little bit of a treasure, like those talents, the merchant with 3 talents. He gave him, and he says, I'm gone for 90 days. Come back, ask the first one. The guy says, yes, I took the talents and I took it to the market and I have 10 talents. And the other guy says, well, I had the talent and I doubled it. The third person says, well, I buried it. It's safe and secure. God gives you talents and multiplies them if you use them. And if you don't use them, you lose them. Just like that.
I
So
agree.
it is, I'm passionate about this as we speak right here. Again, I love to spend time with my children. My son is right calling me right now, so we can go out. He's 9 years old. Yesterday I asked him, I said, are you happy? He says, yes. I said, what's your opinion of me? He's telling me it's my birthday, it's Father's Day. He says, I have the best father in the world. That just gives me everything I need. I don't need anybody else's approval. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Florin, you have anything to share? Please, last minute, let's catch on. Be good fathers, set good examples. Yes, sir. Go
I'll
ahead.
be short. I'll be short. So first of all, I just want to say that my book that I wrote especially for fathers and fathers to be. So which means if you have a boy that's a teenager, and if you have daughters, the boys will going to take care of the daughters. So try to take care of the boys. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Then, for some people, being a single parent, it's a way of living. Exactly how some people choose to be homeless. So be careful. Here I'm talking with the husbands that I'm not trying to be anything. Just remember this. Look at the friends of your wife. If you have more than 3 friends that they are single mothers, be careful, because it becomes a club and she starts to get some information. You didn't do anything wrong. She just she just start to get some information which she thinks is better, but trust me, it's not. And now, because you want to finish on a upbeat side,
Yes,
when
we
I'm
do.
with the girls, it's something like this. Oh,
Nice, nice.
okay. I mean, I wish to all the kids in the world to have moments like this. Okay.
Nice.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry, that's the blur from. Okay, here we go on the big mattress.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like, be fathers like this. Give them experiences. That's the best thing you can give them. And trust me, you'll be the best father in the world, no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter what you did.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. And this has been our show. I hope you enjoyed this, our Fatherhood Summit. I enjoy talking to our great guests. Yes, sir, Sivam, we are here. Let me know. Yes, anyone who's got the last words now, we're looking for. Yes, Peter, you are free, sir, to speak right now. Unmute. Oh, yes. He had his hand up. Let's go one by one. Anirban, you can unmute yourself. Peter, give us a minute until you unmute yourself.
I would just love to listen and hear from Peter because he has been active with us. He had not got the chance to speak, but I would like to listen to him first.
Yes. Shiva brings in, sometimes people ask me not to ask them questions, which I don't know which one is which one, but Peter's here to speak. So we're going to bring in Peter right here. It's a lot
Yes.
of fun to be here. Peter, you can
First
hear
of
us. You're
all,
on mute, sir. Welcome. Welcome, Peter. You've been listening
yes,
behind the scenes.
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, I want to say happy Father's Day to everyone there. I'm a happy father. I just want to say that the two ladies that are on the panel there, right on. You two, I'll tell you something. I wish my son could have made it today, but unfortunately, he's preparing celebration for me, and they're waiting for me now. My kids have both gone to university, and they're graduated. They're successful artists, and I just wanna just let you know that no matter all the trouble that you went through in your life, and all the things that people may say about you, and it really doesn't matter because it has nothing to do with you. My kids just love me to death, and they help me.
Life.
And even though of all the shit that I went through, they had never abandoned me, and I never abandoned them. Neither did their mother, and she was unable to look after them. So I was basically a single father with help from my mother. Anyway, I would just want to say that everything worked out fine for me. I wish I could have been earlier on the panel. I have so much to share with you. Maybe one day again I can come back and continue this conversation.
We'd love to have you, Peter. Yes, sir. You're free to
Thank
come
you.
back anytime you like. I like the
That's
last name, free. So hopefully we will have this discussion again. Again, these are issues that need a lot of talking. And the right person, you said, I wish I had shared. I wish I had shared it with a cousin who last year put the gun to his head and emptied the bullet. I mean, mental
yeah,
issues. It's
I,
tough.
I have countless stories like that.
I mean,
I'm
young, handsome guy, all the money. I mean, there was nothing missing from. He was the only child, and the father is wealthy. Just confusion, mental illness. I mean, why would somebody with money, with
well,
everything, young guy, 20 years old,
I
again,
suffered from
setting an example.
schizophrenia, and I almost hung myself when I was young, and then I tried to commit suicide again, and then I got into drugs and everything, and so I survived that because of my faith and my belief in a higher power. And I think that everyone needs a higher power because God has something to share with you. And He has given you the knowledge to share with your children. It's very important that they grow up spiritually right as well as obey the natural laws of people. You know, I don't understand the fight and the shooting and the alienation. I don't understand that. It never occurred to me when I was having I was just in my own world.
We grow, and we grow conscious. Again,
That's right.
being aware, being conscious of the issues is really important. I'm glad you were able to join us at the end of this, Peter, but we'd love to have you back. Hopefully we'll have another discussion very
Well,
soon
I'm
again.
available on Sundays.
Sundays, wonderful. We'll let you know. I'm sure Sivam is making notes of this again.
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure to have all of you, and we wish everyone the best Sunday, the best Father's Day, even if it's through a text. You know, sometimes we're overseas, as most of us. Relationships, just sending a text to somebody that you love will uplift them, and they'll make
That's
their
right.
day better. Peter, not only your sons love you, but looks like everybody in the world's gonna
Joy
love
and
you
good
with
health,
this
my friend.
message. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, Sivam, if we don't have any programs, Sheffanessa has been the last word goes to you. Again, very short and brief. Let us know some of these issues you're directly involved and you're doing. Oh, yes. And we got Peter. No, I mean, Florin is showing us the text. We love you too, Dad. Wow, that's such a great messages coming in from his daughter. Again, it's just moments of
Oh,
happiness. How can we create them, Sheffanessa? Just give us a little blitz of happiness right now. His heart just blew up like size of an elephant.
Happiness as
Everyone, who is this? Who is this?
wow.
Who is calling?
bye-bye.
Enjoy, Peter and family, everybody.
Who is that?
All
She's so
right.
sweet. Um,
Oh,
or I believe what um the actor said. He said happiness comes from you, and it took him 10 years to get it right. And it's true, happiness comes from within. You have the power to be happy. You have the power. Nobody can make you happy but yourself, right? And we have to be able to, nobody's gonna come to save you either. You have to stand and say, hey, I have my child. I have to, he or she didn't ask to come in this world. So
mhm.
what can I do to be a better mom or better dad? That should be the focus. And when we come together and work together and unite as one, parental alienation will no longer exist because, as I said, it is preventable. And that's a good thing. Education, awareness, and love can help eliminate parental alienation. So I leave today because today's Father's Day and the focus should be on
I'm,
them. Happy Father's Day to all the fit, safe, loving fathers out there. You deserve to
thank
be.
you. Thank you
Have a good
very
day.
much. And just wanted to, at the end of this, ask everyone please to join us on the Voice of Men 360. Few of you Canadians are abroad. Looking forward you coming back and joining us, Florin and I think Priyanka was there and Annie. Say hello to your dad and everyone. Wish you a happy Father's Day and all the best. I'm really excited. Please do check out our website. Also, my book, The Ministry of Miracles, is really the art of creative thinking because nobody teaches us thinking. We'll learn how to remember facts from school. It's going to be out this month, so I'm really excited getting some reviews on that. Florin, I look forward to meeting you and also reading your book. Um, Anirban, have a good night, sir. And Sheffanessa, as usual, keep your smile. Annie, smile at the world and have a wonderful day. Thank you for being on Voice of Men 360. We appreciate your contribution to today's show. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Men's mental health. Absolutely. All of the sponsors who are here, who Peter. Me too. Thank you very much, everyone. Look forward to seeing you. Have a great day and see you next time. See you soon. Ciao.
Recording stopped.